Hello there everyone, Decadent Gamer here, and today I thought it would be fun to talk about Soul Calibur 6. Tekken 7 is set to be released in just a few weeks, and there has been lots of speculation that maybe, just maybe, we'll finally be getting an update on a Soul Calibur game after it's released. Back during the end of 2016, we were teased a trailer for the 20th anniversary of the Soul Calibur series. In truth, it didn't really show much of anything to go off of. But you know what? Maybe this really is a sign that we may be getting a new Soul Calibur game. Now this isn't to say that this potential game will be Soul Calibur 6, because for all we know, it could be another HD remaster for perhaps the first Soul Calibur game, Soul Blade, or maybe even Soul Calibur 3. But personally, I like to believe we'll be getting an announcement for Soul Calibur 6. And for that, I decided to go ahead and list the top 5 things I'd like to see the most in Soul Calibur 6. So without further ado, here are my top 5 things I'd like to see in Soul Calibur 6. Let's begin. So for number 5, I chose a good guest character. To be honest, I never really cared much for guest characters in Soul Calibur, so the only ones I ever thought were cool was Link in Soul Calibur 2, Kratos in Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, and Ezio in Soul Calibur 5. But generally, I hardly have ever played as them. But that aside, I know that guest characters are kind of a staple for the series at this point, and if we're going to be getting another one, all I ask is that we get another character that looks like they can fit into the Soul Calibur universe. Link, Kratos, and Ezio were great choices for guest characters, because they look like they could easily fit into the Soul Calibur universe, so I'm hoping that we continue to see this kind of pattern. If you were to ask me which characters I'd like to see be a possible guest character for the next Soul Calibur game, my top 3 choices off the top of my head would be William from Nioh, Bayonetta from Bayonetta, and Ryu Hayabusa from the Ninja Gaiden series. In the end, however, no matter who they choose, I just hope that the character can look like they can easily mesh well into the Soul Calibur universe. Coming in at number 4, I'd like to see some of the characters that were cut from Soul Calibur 5 either make a return in Soul Calibur 6, or at the very least, their fighting styles brought back for character creation. Like I said before in another video, it was pretty upsetting to see characters like Talim, Sassalamel, and Yunsung be cut from the game because they had some really unique fighting styles. Especially for Talim, because it would have been so cool to see her as a young adult. I mean, I think it's safe to say that a lot of us fans would have loved to see our little Wind Priestess all grown up. Couple that with other beloved characters like Taki and Sung Mina also being cut from the game, and it was just pretty sad to see them put out the pasture like that. I mean, sure, they did come back in that awful Lost Swords game, but in my opinion, they shouldn't have been removed from the game in the first place. Now depending on whether they keep the overall story of Soul Calibur 5 as canon, or end up retconning the whole thing and pretend like it never happened, I really love to see all these characters come back, mainly Talim, Sassalamel, and either Yunsung or a replacement for him to represent the Chinese sword style. Or at the very least, at least bring their styles back for us to use in character creation. While we're on the subject of characters, number 3 on my list is new characters and styles. Soul Calibur is such a unique fighting game, since it's the only one that specializes with weapons as its main focus. But they really started lacking with their character roster in Soul Calibur 5, considering that we got 2 Palisop characters and 3 freaking Mimic characters, which was just utterly ridiculous. In Soul Calibur 6, I want to see some new characters who have completely new weapon styles to represent. For starters, I'd love to see Rock's adopted son Bangu come in as an official character, and to be frank, he should have been one of the new characters for Soul Calibur 5 from the get-go. I just feel that he'd make a great Soul Calibur warrior. And for our new nationality-based character, I'd really like to see an Egyptian character join the roster. In fact, I'm surprised I haven't gotten one yet, but I just feel an Egyptian-based character would be neat to see in the Soul Calibur universe. As for new weapon styles, the ones that I like to see the most are the dual Chinese steel fans, the Kasarigama chain sickle, gauntlets, and a simple non-magical whip. All in all, I just really want to see some new traditional based weapon styles brought into the game. Now for the most part, Soul Calibur 5 did an amazing job with their character creation system, and it was a huge improvement over the limited one we had in Soul Calibur 4. We were able to properly layer clothing again like we could in Soul Calibur 3, and beautifully enough, we were now able to fully edit our characters' body types, add scars and tattoos, color their eyes to completion, and even color our characters' weapons and weapon trail. The improvements made for character creation was just insane, and it was one of, if not the best feature of Soul Calibur 5 in my opinion. That being said, while the character creation is pretty deep so far, there are just 2 more features that I would love to see in the next character creation system. For starters, I'd love for us to be able to customize our characters' faces with slider options. They already use the slider system to customize pretty much everything in Soul Calibur 5's character creation system, so they could easily apply the slider system to the faces of your characters. The best example to follow would be the Dynasty Warrior Empires games, as they use a slider system to help customize faces, and I feel a system like that would easily translate well into Soul Calibur's character creation formula. And along with face customization, I'd also like to see a possible hair customization feature as well, whether it be altering hair length like you can in games like APB Reloaded, Black Desert Online, or the WWE games, or building a hairstyle from scratch like you can in Tekken 6's character customization system, or even better, why not both of these features? I mean, the current 8th generation of home consoles are practically built like PC computers at this point, so I'm pretty sure that they can handle features like this. Really, I could go on and on about the other things that I like to see in Soul Calibur 6's character creation, but I already made another video about that, and I'll be sure to leave a link to it in the comment section. So if you haven't seen it already, why not go give it a look? All in all, I feel if they add these little things, the character creation will be 100% perfect, and I'm just hoping that they add these things in. And finally, the number one thing I want to see in Soul Calibur 6 is to have a variety of single player content again. I've noticed that with each Soul Calibur game that came out after Soul Calibur 3, we got less and less modes to play in for single player content. In Soul Calibur 5, we only had 3 offline modes to play in. Only 3! Now that was just ridiculous. Especially when you compare it to the amount of modes we got in the first 3 Soul Calibur games. I know that it's because they want to fall back on online mode, and online play is fine and all, but I just feel it'd be better to strike a balance between both online and non-online players. I want to see modes like Survival and Team Battle come back, and it would also be cool to see a tag team mode make it in as well. And while I'm on the topic, I want to see arcade mode go back to having character endings for their characters. That was seriously one of the most annoying things about Soul Calibur 5's arcade mode, as they introduced 7 new characters, and other than Patroclus and Pyrrha, we didn't get to learn jack squat about any of them. So for Soul Calibur 6, I want to see CGI arcade character endings come back as well. And finally, for most of all, I'd love to see a campaign mode for custom characters again. Chronicles of the Sword and Soul Calibur 3 may not have been perfect, but it was still fun and it was awesome creating characters to go on an adventure with. And after seeing just how far the customization system has come, it would be awesome to play a campaign mode with the modern graphics. I can already imagine how lush the background environments would be, especially to make the mode play something like Tekken 6's scenario campaign mode. At the end of the day, I just feel that Soul Calibur 6 needs to follow Soul Calibur 3's example and give us players many single player modes to keep us wanting to come back for more. Soul Calibur 5 is just lacking in this area in my opinion, and I don't want to see Soul Calibur 6 make the same mistake that Soul Calibur 5 did with its lack of single player content. And those are the top 5 things I want to see in Soul Calibur 6. What about you guys? What would you guys like to see in Soul Calibur 6? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so please be sure to leave a comment down below. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more gaming goodness. I'm Decadent Gamer, and you have yourselves a great day. Thanks for watching.